Hello Sim Gamers, and welcome to this beautiful early sunrise here at the Kerbal Space Center as we get back into episode 5 of Let's Play Kerbal Space Program 2 Early Access Exploration Mode for Science. Let's get into mission control and find out what objectives are coming up for us next. We have bad signal. Mission control is picking up static over Minmus. We aren't sure if it's another signal. If you get into orbit with an antenna, we'll be able to confirm its origin. Orbit a probe with a communications antenna above Minmus. Oh, hey Director, guess what? After 4 more rounds, I'm still winning the strongest coffee contest. My Macchiato 4 is potent, to the point where other department heads are telling me I've gone too far. Carrie, you must stop. The Kerbal digestive tract has never meant to harness the energy of a small sun. Ah! Nice try. Am I capable of teleportation? Do planets revolve around me? The other directors just think this is all a phase, but I'm currently not a moon. Sudden segue. We've picked up a signal from Kerbin's other moon, Minmus. These messages are drawing us deeper into space. Isn't that more exciting than ominous? We're doing our best to decode the weird static with a highly trained team of communications experts, linguists, and jazz instructors. Newton added a drum beat and some bass to the signal, and it's a bop. We just aren't sure this new sound is a signal. We've identified similarities to the first one, but it might just be static. Our objective is to fly a probe with a communications antenna above Minmus. Minmus' orbit is slightly askew from Kerbin's by about 66 degrees. It will be easier to intercept Minmus if you match its inclination first. To do this, set Minmus as your target to see your ascending and descending nodes. Then, when you're on one of those nodes, burn normal or anti-normal until your orbit lines up with Minmus. When your node angle hits 0, your orbital planes are aligned. You can even use a maneuver plan to make sure you burn at the right time. Good luck! So I have to say, I'm really enjoying how these missions in exploration mode are kind of guiding you along the different facets of orbital mechanics step by step, and then just giving you the freedom to experiment with it. There's no cost or anything associated with it. You can launch as many rockets as you need to figure out what the heck they're talking about with ascending and descending nodes, and this has everything to do with the orbital plane. So the MUN is on the same orbital plane that Kerbin spins on its axis, basically, making it super easy to launch east, go to the MUN, and come back. Minmus, on the other hand, is not perfectly aligned with the rotation of Kerbin, which is, by the way, perfectly aligned with its orbit around Kerbal, which is different from Earth here in the real world. But they give you these details like, okay, this is a orbital plane that's not the same as everything else. Other missions coming up. Hi, Director. Escaping Kerbin. Right, we already know about this one. Lonely satellite. We already know this one. We've gotten some reports that one of our satellites looks lonely. I'm going to go ahead and track this mission because if this is saying, build me a satellite, and this is also saying, orbit Kerbin with a satellite, well, we're going to be able to easily get those done. A new mission. The Lightyear Tire Company has been trying to convince us to test our new tires. I'm not really into tires, but after 45 of my cease and desist letters bounced back, I've decided it'll be easier to comply. Let's slap some wheels on a vessel and launch it. Peer-pressured science is still science. I'm not going to worry about that objective. We'll worry about that later. But we're going to get into the Research and Development Center and then the Vehicle Assembly Building to research what we have in our notes. Holy heck, I'm just now looking at how much science I have available. I have almost 1,900 science to spend between those last 2 MUN missions. Whew, that's a lot. But that's going to be a special feature. You can click on the card up here in the upper right to go there and watch that if you wish to, or let's continue on to the summary of the build afterwards. All right, Sim Gamers, here we are at the launch pad with our Kerbnik satellite. It's a single stage rocket using the swivel sustainer According to our information here, our delta V is 3,204 with a thrust to weight of 1.34 to 1. So this stage should be able to get us most of the way into a circular orbit, and then the Terrier, not the Terrier, the little engine that we have attached to the satellite will be able to take over from there. Let's go ahead and get our countdown underway. Sparks are flying. Ignition, and we have liftoff, departing Kerbal Space Center on this beautiful afternoon. As always with my launches, we are going to make sure to grab approximately 100 meters per second or so before pitching over. Our thruster weight is, what did I say, 1.5? So I can be actually a little early and a little aggressive, honestly. Let's go ahead and turn SAS on. I want to push over to 15 degrees if I can get it. That'll work. We'll kick on the prograde. So what this allows us to do is both climb out of the thickest part of the atmosphere as well as gain some angular velocity. The ship is naturally curving over due to it's acting like a dart thrown at a dartboard with a rocket engine attached to the back. These fins are keeping it stable or helping it stable, and then gravity is just sort of slowly but surely arcing the rocket over. And I may have actually pushed too hard this time with too many control inputs. The problem is right now, we're still in that re-entry range where we're going to be dealing with some thermal effects. Slowing us down. No, we're out there. We're high enough now. My orbital plane isn't the best, but that's okay. Coming up on main engine cutoff. Okay. A rather short burn just to circularize our orbit. Get rid of residuals, and we are done. Science reward. We managed to get a satellite launched into orbit around Kerbin, so that'll be a reward we can catch. I want to go ahead and increase this periapsis a little bit more, just like that. Now we have a little bit more left in this rocket motor, but I'm not going to use it. We're going to switch over entirely to internal control. Final stage activated, and get ourselves ready for the mission here. So the satellite is now capable of generating its own electricity and transmitting information back to Kerbin. So our target is this little guy out here that we really can't even see from this map. Here it is, this little ball of ice called Minmus. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at our orbital plane. So, because we launched wonky, and Minmus is not like, it doesn't orbit around the equator at the same plane as the equator, we need to do a special maneuver called an orbital plane change to align with it. And we've got 10 degrees of work to do here. So we have these two nodes where the two planes cross each other. Basically, if you think of this as like, take two sheets of paper and cut a slit in the middle so you can overlap them. And if you have them at different angles, there will be this sort of line that's drawn across the two that both 2D planes share. That's where the orbital planes cross. And these nodes, since our orbit is actually an ellipse, essentially a line through curved space, there are only 2 points on that ellipse coincide with the line that those two pieces of paper would cross. That's the ascending node and the descending node. The ascending node is where our sheet of paper crosses our target orbit's sheet of paper in a northward direction. And the descending node is the opposite of that. It's where our plane crosses the other one at a descending direction. So either of these two places is fine to create a maneuver. Since this one is the ascending node, it's going up northward. We're going to apply a bunch of thrust southward to correct that. And it's a good thing this ship has all the delta V that it has, because we're going to use it. Looks like we're not going to get ourselves a perfect burn. There we go. If we time it right, we can get ourselves on the correct node. So let's go ahead and, now that we're nice and light, we can easily turn towards our maneuver. We'll keep our solar panels tuned to the towards Kerbal, and let's get time warped over there. At this point, we are all set to plan our Minmus injection burn. So, for lack of any better indicators where to start, I'll just create a maneuver node here and pull our prograde marker out. And this is going to be a fairly aggressive, a lot of delta V spent to get here. And we're starting to get some feedback and information on our plan. These are the tools that we're going to use to navigate further out into space, so I want to make sure to talk about them. I also want to take a look at my experiments. It looks like we did get an atmospheric reading of both data and samples. We're not bringing back any samples, so, whatever. We can transmit the data, I suppose. But back to our task at hand, this maneuver. This orbit that we've created will tell us that basically, when we reach our target orbit, we are going to be here, crossing the orbit here at these 2 points when we get out this far. When we're here at this point, Minmus is way over here, which means we will have missed by quite a lot. So we can just rotate this around until we find a suitable Minmus encounter. And that looks pretty good. It's a collision with Minmus if we get this particular maneuver perfect. With about 8 seconds away, we've turned and rotated ourselves towards our burn marker. 2, 1, go. We still have solar power being provided from Kerbal. But we're going to execute our way through this 40-second or so burn. This comment is from Todd G. This is exactly the sort of help I was looking for with KSP2 and the new update for science. Thanks for putting in the time and effort. Thanks for the encouragement, Todd. I'm having a great time with KSP2 and making these episodes. Engine cut off in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, cut off. How did we do? I focus on Minmus out here, which is a little hard to do because there we go. We can see that our encounter is a little far away. I think we can fix that by, nope. I was going to say we can fix that by thrusting more prograde, but it looks like since that was making it worse, we're going to turn around and go retrograde to just bring this periapsis down nice and low. And I'm going to do, oh my gosh, it's moving so fast. Okay, I'm going to leave it there because we'll do other mid-course corrections when we get out further. Mission tracker. We've completed our lonely satellite mission. And we're looking at orbiting a probe with a communications antenna above Minmus. As we just barely get into sunset here. We have plenty of electricity to transmit our science findings, so I'm going to start doing that here pretty soon. But I'm actually going to wait until we get into a stable Minmus orbit before I do all that. Well, it's only 240 units to transmit at all. Sure. Transmitting environment data was easy enough. High orbit data. And Minmus high orbit data. Awesome. I wonder if it's possible to come and collect these samples later. Okay, our periapsis is 97 kilometers. And what we can actually do, once again, is face radial in. Radial in this case, would be to the right. And bring that nice and close. I'm going to get that down to 50 kilometers, I think. And as you can see out here, at this distance, we're able to make that change with very, very little energy. Let's go ahead and get this unlocked. Focus on Minmus. And create a maneuver plan to circularize our orbit. This will be a retrograde burn. Something approximately like that. Gotta underscore the music. The music score and the constant, subtle, sometimes not so subtle music score in this game is just killer. Four, 3, 2, 1. Had to do a double check on my instruments, make sure I was pointing in the right direction. I'm gonna go ahead and clean up these residuals with a little bit of low thrust here. All right, there we have it. We have established an orbit around Minmus. Is there any more research inventory that we want to transmit? It's all samples. Okay. Holy smokes, Director. That was flawless. Fewer flaws than normal? We'd love to see it. Most importantly, it is a signal. And we don't get to go all the way out here for nothing, signal. Plus, there's a new waypoint for you to follow when you're ready for your next mission. Also, licensing footage from all these recent missions has meant we can afford some new perks. Did you see the floor-to-ceiling television we installed in the break room? I'm surprised we managed to decode the message at all with all these distractions. The message? Oh yes. Sorry for burying the lead here. Burying the lead here? We at Mission Control are proud to present the first decoded message. It says, "Welcome, younger sibling." Us! We're the younger siblings. Do you understand the gravity of this discovery? We have proof that an advanced civilization beyond Kerbin. And we can debunk the installation artist theory. It's time to get down here, there, and find the source of the signal. I hope it's housed within another monumental structure. Hey, I like the sound of that. Let's call them monuments. Over and out. Ooh. The thick platins. 400 science for our efforts. Lonely satellite is also ready to be completed. Excellent. Better internet connection. Plus, we've got footage of the satellite smiling. I assume it's smiling. I can't read satellite facial expressions. Maybe there's a bit of a bounce in their orbit. We might have to make this a weekly thing. Friendships are so hard to come by. All right, 100 more science done. And so Minmus Monument is going to be a landing mission. That is, find the source of the mysterious signal on the surface of Minmus. We can do this either with a lander mission or a probe. Escaping Little Chonker. Land a vessel on Minmus with a current mass over 200 tons. Holy heck. Geostationary orbit. So a lot of fun potential secondary missions, but Minmus Monument is the thing we're going to go after in the next episode. Until then, I'm Sim Gamer, and this has been Kerbal Space Program 2 for science!